basically around getting rid of the status quo. And with that is that feeling of not having representation. Do you support uncapping the House, the Congressional House, for better, more distributed representation within Congress and all the populations throughout the United States?
Okay, Jordan, would you like to take that question?
Absolutely. So, thank you so much, Scotty, for your question. And also, can I get a round of applause for Scotty? He did run for mayor here in Green Valley. It takes a lot of courage to do this work out in rural Missouri. Thank you, Scotty, for doing what you're doing. So when we're talking about uncapping congressional seats, right? Changing the number, 435, am I understanding you correctly? All right, so 435 has been locked in. That's the number of House of Representatives that represent each of us in the United States. Can anyone in the room right now tell me how many people fall into one congressional district on average? What's up, Danny?
Isn't it about like 75,000?
Oh, no, a little bit more. Take that times 10.
750,000?
About 750,000, sometimes 760,000 people. Okay, 750 to 760,000 people represented by one person, one voice. To answer your question, Scotty, yes, we need to expand that number for a more fair and representative body. I would also agree that Puerto Rico needs to be added as a state.
Yes.
That's one way we can do that. Guam as well. They've been a participant in U.S. Freedom and security globally for a long time. It's time to bring them in as a state. It's my belief, though, that 435 is just too small. We deserve representation. We need more representatives in Congress who can speak to a smaller audience. Look, we're seeing giant districts stretch across the state because of this giant number, 760,000. If we have more representatives in office, districts could be broken up and be more equivalent to the people they are there to represent. So I would agree, Scotty, that yes, we do need to re-examine some of these older institutions, not just the number of congressional seats that we have, the states that are under our union, but also we need to examine the Electoral College again and determine if these processes are really benefiting us as a nation anymore. And if we do not take these deliberate steps, then we allow ourselves to be continually influenced by politics, and we will always be playing the catch-up game. It's time for us to start speaking boldly, acting strategically, with a vision and a plan. For nearly 20 years of government service, 16 in the Air Force, and a few years there at the Attorney General's office, almost 2 decades, I've been able to show you I can get that done smartly, strategically, and working across the aisle. Thank you.
Scotty, thanks for your question, and yeah, I take that back about Green Valley. I hate Green Valley. You would have been a great mayor. It would have been so much better now. I'm so sorry about that. It's a great question, and it's one that I've talked to a lot of people about. The common sense answer also is, okay, let's say you increase the number of representatives. Maybe you have 2 Republicans in the 4th district. Ooh, now I don't like that idea. So I think we got to be strategic about that. I think definitely underrepresented for sure. But in the case of the 4th district and other districts around Missouri, I think you got to be very careful in what we wish for in terms of that. And I think a lot of people here have that same notion of like you talked about. That you don't feel like you're represented. You don't feel like that they're representing your best interests. And so maybe that would give us a better understanding and a better communication way of doing that. I think I've been in communications all my life, and I think there's no communication in Washington right now, and they don't talk to each other. They don't talk to the constituents. I mean, aside from a town hall where they yell at each other, that's kind of a fun thing to do. But I think that's the other thing that's missing right now. We've got to be able to communicate our ideas and know that our representatives are hearing those ideas. Thank you.
So I got into the race because...
Careful, I'm from Greenfield.
Oh, you are?
Yes.
Okay.
Keep going.
You don't? I don't? Okay, we're going to talk later. Okay, now you threw me off. So I got into the race because I'm representing where I grew up and where I live today. Now those are 2 vastly different ends of the spectrum. We have got to abolish gerrymandering. It is wrong.
Yes.
Whether it's Republican or Democrat, we gotta get rid of it. And then we can start focusing on smaller groups, better representation of your communities that can go to Congress and represent us more. We're gonna talk later.
I would agree with Ashley right there too. Of course, more numbers seems like it would be more effective. However, what quota or what process are our representatives expected to do to come and see us? Or is there some quota of how many people they need to contact during the year? No. So let's switch it around, and what can we do to make our representatives more responsible and more accountable for finding out or hearing things from their representatives? It always hurts me when I see somebody needs to have a transplant and need $300,000. So they get on, what's that called?
GoFundMe.
GoFundMe. They get on GoFundMe and they raise $300,000. Well, what was the other way to maybe? How about shorten that $300,000? How about the companies get rid of that $300,000? The same thing with our representatives. How about they step up now and have some kind of quota that I contacted X number of people during X number of time? Have any of us ever received surveys from our representatives in the mail?
Yeah.
Some of us have.
Yeah.
I never have.
I know.
Well, that's good. Well, that's a good representative, and I think that's another way to look at it.
First, and
Oh,
then
okay.
Cody second. Yeah.
Oh, good.
Jeanette's the best on the
This question, you want to know about increasing the number of representatives. California, I've heard this over and over and over for years and years and years. They have like 39 million people in California. Wyoming has 539. Both states have 2 representatives. And that's hard to swallow, because that's vastly different. I ran in 2024 as a rural countyan, and I spent maybe 10 years living in Springfield, which some of y'all up here closer to Kansas City are like, yeah, that's a small town to us. But it was, it has the same issues that you guys have up here in Kansas City. It's just knowing how to address them and get to them. Do I like trying to knock on 780,000? I think it's 780,000 that's in our district. Do I like trying to knock on 780,000 doors or call them? It's impossible for one candidate to do that. But I think I'm more concerned about our Supreme Court only having 9 when they should have 13. That's my first concern. As far as people representing you, if you find the candidate that knows how to reach out to you and understand the dilemma that you're going through, it's up to you too to reach out to that candidate to make sure they understand your dilemma so they can answer your questions. But if you find that candidate and they will fight for you tooth and nail, that's the important thing. And I hate to sound like I'm blowing this question off, but I'm more concerned about our Supreme Court right now. As far as we need to get it up to 13 instead of 9, and then let's look at the Congressional district. But you've got, what, 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 candidates here running for the 4th district. And we're doing the homework because we want to fight for you. Are you doing the homework to see which one can fight for you? And I don't mean to throw it back in your face, but it really is a two-way street. You gotta look to that candidate, you gotta ask the questions, and she gave the finger to make sure that you find the right candidate.